Good morning. Hello. It is Wednesday. We made it. We made it this far into the week. Let's hope we can continue on our journey throughout this week. It's been a wild one for me already. Hopefully it's been better for you guys. But welcome to NE1 World Showcase, where we talk to the best and brightest new creators about what they're bringing to the table. And I'm super excited. We had Amy on our show a couple weeks ago talking about Balor Comics, and she's the artist side. And now we're going to have Peter Harte on, who is the writer's side. So it's so cool to see like both sides, both creative parts, because we all know writers and artists are a little bit different and how they think and how they plan and all that good stuff. So let us welcome Peter. Hello, Peter. How are you?
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are.
Right. It's morning here, but I'm in Texas. And where are you at?
I'm in Dublin, so it's kind of late afternoon here. It's about
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Gotcha. It looks kind of overcast and gray.
Oh, I'm being rained on. Even I
Oh,
found some
no.
cover, but I'm still being rained on. So
You-
that's just the lovely Irish weather that people will see in Balor as well.
That's funny. So let's start the show how we always start the show. Tell us about Peter. Tell us your origin story and how you got into writing comics.
I kind of, well, to go back to when I first got into comics in general, my grandmother actually picked me up a copy of Ultimate Spider-Man #1 when I was 6.
Ah,
Um, I'd always loved superheroes, and I remember still in that Ultimate Spider-Man, the storyline, the death of Peter Parker, was the first bit of reading I ever done that hit me emotionally, and I was like, okay, wow,
mm,
this is cool. Uh, all through school, creative writing was kind of like my best subject. It was where I excelled, but I was late in my 20s before I realized that I loved writing, I loved comics. I can actually fuse the two. I
yeah.
never really put two and two together with that until a friend of mine from when I used to run a podcast, Task, he started doing indie comics himself, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing you could do.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you had to like write some sort of pitch or something to Marvel or DC to get into this sort of
Yeah.
stuff, and I didn't realize how vast the indie comic scene was. So I started interviewing a lot of indie creators on my podcast, similar to what yourself is doing now,
Hmm.
and kind of I was interviewing them, trying to get some exposure on their books, but at the same time, jotting down tips and tricks and how to go about doing my own.
That's one of the best things about podcasting and indie comics is you get a whole slew of people and then you can just ask them all the things that you want to know.
Exactly.
You're
Just
like,
disguise it as an interview question.
right, I'm just gonna get all right, how do you do this? Like I've learned so much just by meeting people in the community and picking their brains. So definitely. So when you okay, so you were in your 20s, that's when you started writing
Yeah.
Balor Comics, or how did that all happen?
So I kind of, one of my pet peeves in comics was always I never found a very interesting or well written or main character vibe Irish person.
Yeah,
It was
that's a good
always the
point.
part Irish, like Captain America's half Irish, Matt Murdock half Irish. It was always the half, and I was like, when you go to the full Irish, you have Banshee, and I was like, very this stereotypical, the green costume, bit of kind of dirtle situation kind of vibes off her.
Yeah,
And I was like, I want. There's a lot more to Ireland than banshees and leprechauns.
right?
So I said, yeah. So I was like, I want to bring that to the table. And um, one of my favorite wrestlers, actually, Finn Balor, started wrestling in WWE, and he went the whole gimmick of the Demon King, which I loved
Ooh,
because I knew Balor from studying Irish mythology. So I
that's
was like,
see,
okay.
I'm not familiar with a lot of the Irish mythology and the stories. Why is my camera freaking out today? It's like I keep disappearing from existence. Oh, that's way worse. What the heck? I am here. I'm not glitching. So odd. Anyway, but that's something that I'm really interested in is learning like other cultures, mythologies and like so that's interesting to me that not only do you hit superhero but you also hit supernatural
Yeah,
uh in your story. So, but it makes perfect sense knowing that like Spider-Man was kind of like your grounding point where you started. Um So
I have had a review before a while back when Balor issue 1 first came out, saying it was very reminiscent of Peter Parker origin story, which I didn't know whether
really
they meant that as a
compliment
compliment or
or
not, but I took it as a compliment
I
because
was like,
he's my
I would.
favorite.
I mean, if your Spider-Man is one of your favorites, I would take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
100%,
100%.
right? Right.
Yeah, like it's the case of like with, and even with it now, we're bringing in mythology from other countries quite early because Ireland is quite diverse as a country. We have a lot of people from different backgrounds here. So we actually have Akalika, who came in the second issue, and the Akalika is from Bolivian mythology.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was talking with Amy about this character, and she's super interesting.
Oh, she
Um,
loves, yes, Amy loves Akalika. She won't let me
uh-huh.
write anything bad about Akalika. I've only positive vibes with her.
You're funny. You're like, and then we kill Akalika, and she's like, nope, nope,
No,
no,
yeah,
we're not.
yeah. Back to the drawing board.
She's like, if you want this comic book done, you'll rewrite that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you met Amy, because I mean, as we know in indie comics, is like you start in the beginning where it's like, all right, I have this story. What the heck do I do with it? So how did you go about finding an artist and then settling on Amy?
It was a funny story. So kind of when I was doing the podcast, Amy followed us and I followed her back, and she was a listener of the podcast. So we were mutuals on Twitter for a couple of years before I started doing the comic, and I'd always seen her prints that she done, and I've always been a fan of them. And I just reached out to her. I was like, Scottish, Irish, Celtic connection there.
Yeah.
So I reached out and she was like, I've never done sequential art before. And I was like, well, I've never written a comic before, so let's just do it together.
Yeah.
I was like, let's dive in. Both of us, if we sink or swim, we're both starting out on the bottom rung of the ladder. We'll move our way up or we'll just fall off the ladder, one or the other. But either way, it's either win-win or lose-lose. We're both in the same boat.
Right.
So it was actually her husband who ended up then convincing her because she
Yeah.
wanted a bit of time to think about it, which was fair. And he basically told her, you don't know unless you try. Just
Yeah.
go
What do you
for
have
it.
to lose? Try
Yeah.
it.
So she sent me over the cover first, and I fell in love with the cover of Balor issue 1. I still, other than the new cover that I revealed recently, the variant cover for issue 3, the Balor issue 1 cover was my favorite.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how one usually resonates with you, where it's just like, oh, this one's my favorite. It just captures the character, and once people read it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes on its own life, kind of, you know?
It did. It encapsulated the whole book. Like that one picture is perfect for when we do a trade for volume 1 as well, because it just encapsulates the whole meaning of what the trade is.
You just said the magic word, trade.
We'll
get into that. We'll talk about that because
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested in when that's going to happen. But let's go back. Okay. So you found Amy because your mutual relationship with the podcast, and then of
Yeah.
course your shared heritage. But then how did you progress from there? Did you just give her the whole script and like, let's go? Or like, how does your relationship work when it comes to making an issue? Walk us through that.
As the first issue, it was a lot of anxiety, I think, on both sides. I sent her over the full script. I was very meticulous with it, panel by panel breakdown, described everything I wanted to see. Then Amy came back to me with a couple of pages and a couple of notes where she changed or altered some of the panel layout that I had, to which she has admitted she was anxious about, because she's like, I changed it. You said you wanted 6 panels in this page, and I put 7, and I was like, listen, I just write the words. You're the artist who puts the pictures to the words. If you feel like that page needs more panels, add the panel. Like that's like at the end of the day, I can put these words on pages and I can picture it in my head the way I think it should be. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one putting the art on the page.
I find that a lot of times with artists, if you give them that freedom, like you said, they'll come up with a different way than what I see it or what you see it. But a lot of times it's better. Because here we are thinking the word. I'm the writer as well. So I'm like, I'm thinking the words and I'm thinking how it plays out. But then the artist gets a hold of it and they're like, well, what about this? And I'm like, oh God, look at that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it makes it all better. So
it's like with issue 3, I think I went a bit overboard with it. So I wrote issue 3 almost like I used to write one of my creative writing essays. And I just had the whole script, had the dialogue, had what I wanted to happen. But the one thing I didn't do was break it down into panels. So I broke it down.
So your writing is changing.
I broke it down into pages, but not so much panels. And I sent it over to Amy, and I was like, Let me know if you want me to change that about this. But the first 2 issues, there's a trust being built there. You can see things that I can't when it comes to putting this on the page. Go
Yes.
nuts.
Yeah.
So
I have a similar relationship with my artist, Marco DeFio, where it's like, it's just a description and then he panels it. And it's like, I don't see why I would tell him what the panels are when he's seeing it play out in his head. He can panel it much better than I can, at least in my, you know?
Yeah, 100% agree. Amy, in the first issue, like, I had one of the pages broken down into, I think, like 6 panels, but she changed it, and the panels actually run in the shape of an eye as well. So for the eye of Balor, and I was like, I would have never thought to write that down on the page. That's the way I want the panels. So this is where, like, this is your forte. I'm not going to tell you how to panel a page and how to make it look. That is something that I'm trusting you with.
Yeah.
Just like you're trusting me to write a coherent script.
That's awesome. That's great to have that, like, mutual trust. And then it feels like such a collaboration when the comic book comes together, because everybody has kind of poured their heart and soul into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I always say to Amy that as a writer, I provide the brain and personality of a character. She provides the body and the appearance.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, so I just do the thoughts in the character's head. She makes the character come to life.
So okay, so now we have you and Amy together working on this comic book. So when did the first one come out?
First one.
Just give me a year. You don't have to give me a
2021, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm getting that right, Amy might correct me, but pretty sure it was 2021.
And did you guys have to crowdfund in any way, shape, or form for that issue, or?
Oh yeah, so we ran a Kickstarter for that issue, and we've run Kickstarters for all the issues so far.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good to know. And then you fulfill them yourself, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is stressful, but that's the fun of the job.
100% with you, because I fulfill all our stuff and I'm panicking sometimes, but it's like, don't let them see you panic, right?
Yeah.
Just panic and off camera.
Exactly.
So, okay. Do you ship internationally? I'm just curious.
We do, yeah. So one thing that I actually I had to put in the description and as an update on issue 1 that I didn't realize was all the prices of my tiers I do on Kickstarter include international shipping, whether it's a €3 shipping or whether it's €10 shipping. It's you pay the price for that tier, that there's no extra cost on top of it. The shipping's included in that. If I have to take the loss, I'll take a little bit of a loss. No problem at all.
Peter.
I just want everyone to, when they think of Ireland, not to think of leprechauns or Conor McGregor.
Right.
We'll move past, yeah.
Dang him and his noodle arms.
Yeah, just get rid. You're like, we have a better fighter than him anyway.
We from the Irish console disown Conor McGregor.
He's only the second best fighter Ireland have ever had. Katie Taylor is better than him in spades.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I want people not to stop thinking of just Conor McGregor and leprechauns, and so I will. If you pay 15 for one of the tiers and it costs me 20 to 22 to fulfill it, I've no problem taking that few quid loss.
Wow, that's very generous of you, but we should definitely fix that, because we don't want you paying out of pocket for all that, because that can get expensive real quick. So issue 1 came out, and then issue 2.
And we took a break before issue 2, so we took like it was like 6 months hiatus, because it was quite stressful, because it was only a 2-person team at the time. So I done the writing and the lettering, and Amy done the art and the coloring. So it was a lot of work, a lot of late nights. So we said, right, we'll take a couple of months off. I didn't take a couple of months off. I just kept changing the script constantly because I couldn't help myself. But I sent it over, and then we got to work on that, and that came out the end of 2022, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, near the end of 2022.
So let me ask you this: when you do an issue and you fulfill them all, you have some inventory left over, yes? Do you do like a book tour? Do you do Comic-Cons? Do you do like comic book store signings? Like, what do you do in the downtime with those books?
Well, I haven't gotten any cons just yet. Unfortunately, the way my work week goes, unfortunately, I have to book that time off way in advance, and I always
Oh,
find out about these conventions too close to the date.
yeah, and
So I
some of
need
them you
to.
have to book like almost a year in advance.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but that's
Yeah.
my goal. My goal is to get to one of them, maybe this year. But usually with the inventory I have left, there's a lot of catch-up tiers I do through the Kickstarter. So if you're
Yeah.
coming on to back issue 3 now, there's a catch-up tier where you can get the physical copies of issue 1 and 2 as well.
So keep
So you
that
get the full pack.
inventory and put it on to the next campaign. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And then also if I meet anyone that's a reviewer or anything, whether I'm in getting my own comics, I'll usually, if I know they have a decent following, I'll ask them, do they want to have a look at my book and maybe review it. Just constantly on that, on the salesman vibe.
Yeah, but I find I have really good days at some of the local comic book stores. They'll let me come and set up a table, and I just talk to people as they come in. And what's nice about comic book stores is that's already our audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're in there looking for comic books, and a lot of times if they find out that you're a local writer, they'll be like, "All right, tell me what you got," and they're happy to support. So that might be another thing you can do as well. Yeah, not that I'm trying to like. You're like, I don't have any time, Laurie. I'm like, I get you.
No, it would be definitely an idea. To see with in Ireland, like Dublin's okay. There's a couple of comic shops, but they're not as widespread in Ireland as they would be kind of over in the US or even the UK. So it's like you have your two main ones, which would be Forbidden Planet and Big Bang Comics. Then you have like your independent Irish comic stores. So you have Sub City and Little Deer Comics. So there's not a major amount. And I have reached out to a couple of them asking about getting Balor in on their shelves, and they told me to come back when I have a trade because they only do indies and trades.
Really? Come on.
Yeah. I won't name names because they're good people.
Well, before we get into the story, I just want to say to the people that are watching, if you have a story inside of you like Peter does, there's a place for you here at NE1 World. Let me play you the video from Morgan Quaid in his beautiful voice, and he'll kind of walk you through some of the options that we have at NE1 World as I glitch my way out of existence.
If you're an indie creator looking for a home for your comic book, graphic novel, short story collection, or novel, then you've come to the right place. NE1 World is a full-service publisher and distributor which can take your creator-owned project and showcase it to the world. We offer two primary distribution channels: digital distribution, where we'll sell your book in our digital bookstore; digital and print distribution, where we'll sell your book in our digital bookstore and distribute through physical bookstores across the UK, USA and Canada. In addition to distribution, NE1 World can also work with you to publish your book. We'll publish your book digitally, helping you source artists, edit, format and publish your book in digital format. Digital and print. We'll publish your book digitally and produce and distribute print copies of your work. Digital, print and merch. We'll publish digital and print copies of your book and then work with you to design or distribute products and add-ons such as t-shirts, posters and more. On top of all of this, we can offer additional paid services where required, specifically cover design, editing and formatting. Unlike many traditional publishers, NE1 World gives indie creators maximum control and flexibility over publishing and distribution. So if you're looking to partner with us to distribute existing books or publish something new, read carefully through the information below and fill out a submission form.
And that, my friends, is how you do it. You can join Peter and I and the wonderful family at NE1 World. This is just a great place for creators. There's a bunch of different packages you can utilize depending on what fits your needs the best. And I haven't met anybody from NE1 or ASAP that I dislike. Everybody here is focused, is positive, and we'll have a good time together. So 100%, you should definitely bring your story and join our family. This is the time where we bring up NE1world.com and I show you all the cool stuff that we have. Really quick, we're going to have a dance break. Don't dance if there's people around, Peter. I don't want them looking at you like you're crazy. Ready?
I can't dance anyway.
Right? All right, that's it. All right, so just really
I was almost walking down the stairs.
Yeah, he's like, what is this guy doing? That was awesome. I didn't know you could do that. That's cool.
I'm getting too old for that. That nearly took my knee out.
Oh God, don't do that. Be like, Peter has died. Pretending to walk down the stairs on a podcast. It's terrible. But here's the website. Make sure you guys visit this frequently because it's always changing. Right now, there is pre-order for both my book, Path of the Pale Rider trade paperback, George Medina's book, Russ 5377. It's their 25th anniversary on this book, which that's nuts. There's a bunch of promotions, and look, if you buy issue 1 of Balor, you get issue 2 for free. And then automatically
just until Paddy's Day. Just we're going all Irish.
It's almost over. That's coming up, people, because that's the 17th. So make sure you get in there and get your copy of Buy One Get One Free. There's the gig relaunch. There's so much good stuff on here. Make sure you go scroll through. There's so many new creators that have joined NE1 World. There's like a premiere every week, sometimes 2 a week. It's insane. So really good stuff. But if you're going to go look for Balor, here's how you find it. So we're going to come to these blue buttons and you're going to search by creator. And then it takes you to this page. Wow. Look at this. And this is just growing. I can't believe, you know what I mean? Like when I first joined, it was like half the page. And now it's like, it just scrolls forever. It's amazing. But here's Balor. You can't miss it. It's the bright green one. So if you click on that, again, it takes you to this page. And we have digital download for both issue 1 and 2. And I know issue 3 is coming soon because I'm in the know. But this is awesome. I love digital downloads because it's a immediate, it's immediate. You don't have to wait. It's not delayed. You don't have to wait for shipping. You don't have to wait for it to arrive. You just download it and you can start reading it immediately. So these are great for binge reading, I find, on the iPad or on the phone. From when you're in the waiting room or in line somewhere, it's perfect. So here's Balor number 1. It's just such a beautiful cover. And all right, so this is the point where I would love for you to tell the viewers what this story is about. Give us your elevator pitch, and then let's discuss some of the finer points of this story.
So to break it down, I suppose. Basically, it centers around 18-year-old Sean James, who is still in mourning from his younger brother's murder. His younger brother was murdered by the drug gangs in Dublin when he accidentally cycled into a shipping yard where a deal was going down.
Whoops. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yep. And that's the story of Sean's life as well, but we'll get into that. So it's basically like him and his mother, his father left when they were very young. Him and his mother are just about surviving. Sean's getting in trouble at school, so she suggests a trip to Loch Nassoul, which translates to Lake of the Eye. So they go there. Sean goes for a midnight swim and gets dragged underwater to the buried shrine of Balor, which is being protected by the fairies until a worthy vessel comes along that can take the power of Balor, but also keep the evil down rather than letting it loose on the world.
Interesting. So was this like a prophecy that he fulfilled, or like he's the chosen one, or is he just like some poor unlucky guy that went for a swim in the loch?
I think he just, unfortunately, he's just some unlucky bloke who fit the criteria that just we'll find a lot more. So you don't want to drop any spoilers. There's a lot more about him receiving the powers that I have planned, kind of to drip and drab throughout the volumes of why he got the powers, how it's all connected. So there's a lot more of that to come, but his eyes are open then to a world that he didn't realize, where there are mythical powers out there, just like in comic books.
Yeah.
So he obviously, first thing he does is try to use his powers to get revenge for his brother.
Yeah.
And that's when he stumbles across the Dawn of the drug gang. He goes to a shipment. The Dawn is gone, but he sees residue of powers just like his, but in a different color, along the warehouse. And a ripped patch from a kind of a tack vest that said SCMP. So we kind of start to uncover a bit of a secret government conspiracy there as well. This is a very long-winded elevator pitch. I've never been good at this. I talk too much. I talk too much. It's the problem. So basically it's that we'll leave it with that because that's issue 1.
All right. Well, let me ask you another question. Tell us more about the Balor, right?
Yeah.
He's the
So
Demon King.
Demon King. So Balor was a demon king of Irish mythology. He got his powers from his family of druids, and he accidentally walked into the room when they were concocting up some sort of potion, and it got into his eyes, which opened a third eye on his forehead. But this eye had unimaginable power, so he had to wrap it up under 7 different layers. But each time he removed a layer in battle, the power coming from the eye got more powerful, and if he removed all 7 layers, it would leave the land around them as just scorched dirt.
Oh God! Please keep your clothes on, Balor.
Yeah, yeah.
Please don't get down to your birthday suit, or the world could end. That's funny. And you know what's interesting to me is like I was talking with Amy. First of all, this eye is super cool right here. Little hidden gem, everybody. I was like, ooh, I see you. But I was talking with Amy about your main character, Sean, and how he kind of like he runs his mouth too much and he doesn't fit that typical hero mold. You know what I mean? Of like Captain America, Superman, Batman. He is like he gets in trouble and he gets beat up half the time. So
He's an idiot. It's the nicest way possible. I've always said to Amy, nobody hates their main character more than I do, and it's not that I hate him. I just like putting him through hell. I'm just like,
well,
like,
I
no.
think we all do that now. But it's interesting to me that in this day and age, it's like how superheroes have evolved. They're no longer the clean-cut, good-natured, Boy Scout. They become this more realistic, you know what I mean? What a real human is, and they have flaws. So when you were building Sean, what was some of the things you were thinking about? Is there pieces of you in Sean?
Yeah, I think with yourself as well, probably know as a writer.
Hades says he looks like the weatherman on location. It's cold. Back to the studio.
I wish.
He's like, it's raining. Go inside.
I'll be going back inside for lunch after this. But yeah, and I think you probably yourself, as well. But a lot of writers, there is always pieces of yourself in the character. Which, being Irish, one of our biggest things is self-deprecating humor. So that's maybe why I hate my main character so much, because it's pieces of me.
Okay.
But yeah, like a lot of looking back at me as a teenager, kind of a lot of misdirected anger, a lot of kind of not knowing what to do with his feelings, a lot of wondering about the place in the world. So there's pieces of me scattered in there with pieces that I wish I had when I was that age.
Yeah, I can see that. But it's like I feel like with Sean, he gets beat up, but at least he still gets back up. Was that kind of one of his like redeeming qualities? Is it doesn't matter what happens, he's just getting back up.
Exactly, that'd be one of his redeeming and one of his more annoying qualities as well as the book goes on. That
like, can you just shut up, sir?
Yeah, like it's great in a fight, but unfortunately, in a verbal argument, him never knowing when to give up could cause some problems down the line.
That's with him and that other character we were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, him and Akalika. Yeah, it's yeah. I got a lot of that. That's a little bit I got from me as well. I was never much of a physical fighter growing up, but I had a smart mouth, which I didn't know how to shut up, and got me beat up more for not shutting up.
Whoops.
Yeah.
That's funny. So issue 1 and 2 are available, everybody. And remember, here's how I have the description. I have the link in the description of the show that will take you right to this collection. It's actually the page before this. This guy.
And that description there is a better elevator pitch than what the drabble I just droned out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I write better.
Right, like
I write better than I talk.
Because it's like you only have like a few seconds to catch someone's attention here. You never know how long they're going to scroll for. But when we're on the show, that's cool. It's like, tell us all the things. That's what we're here for. We want to hear it from you. But I'm going to read this in a dramatic voice for everybody. A modern mythological No, I'm just kidding. Let's read it though. A modern mythological superhero book where the powers of legends are passed on to those who are worthy. Dun, dun, dun. That's the key word, I think. worthy.
Yeah, see, I write better. I write better than I talk. That's why I'm a writer, not a public speaker.
Right?
Yeah,
I think we're all in that boat. I was like, me too, man. I feel that.
yeah.
I feel that.
Like even reading that there now, I was like, the easier way to explain it is in Balor Comics, the powers of mythology are like energy. It never dies. It's just passed on.
That's energy is neither what created or destroyed. It's just
Right.
transferred. Interesting. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about is what's coming next for you. So issue 1 and issue 2 are available. When's issue 3 coming?
Issue 3 is currently in pre-launch on
it is.
Kickstarter. So we're building up. This is the Balor Media Tour, I like to call it.
Yeah, let's do that.
So that's going to launch at the end of this
Ooh.
month, and so it's a big issue. It's one of our first kind of. We've had some fight scenes in issue 1 and issue 2, but this is the big showdown between Sean and Akalika. So,
Is this okay? So I'm looking at this image. So on the left, that is Sean, and
that's his new suit. He's going to debut.
Hero glow up, I guess.
Yeah, that's going to be the first. It's going to be his first appearance in his suit in issue 3.
Oh, that's awesome. I always like when we introduce a character, you get the origin story, you kind of see where, but when they get that first suit and they suit up, it's just like, oh, it's going to go down.
Yeah.
And then Akalika looks pissed. What did he do? What did he do?
He opened his mouth, probably.
We'll read the story. But man, she looks mad. And then who's this character on the right?
This is me and Amy's baby. This is the one character we agreed nothing can ever happen to. So you get a glimpse of this character at the end of issue 2, and we're going to get more of a view in issue 3. So that's Kelpie. So Kelpie in Irish and Scottish mythology is a water horse. It's a water spirit that can take the form of a horse that is known for dragging people underwater to their deaths.
Oh, so they're not friendly?
Oh, this one, this we love this Kelpie. This Kelpie is still basically a puppy in terms of Kelpies. Okay. So Kelpie's going to come in, and I basically say Kelpie is going to be our Jeff the Land Shark. that is Kelpie. Yeah, Kelpie is going to be the cute animal that gets into all sorts of hijinks.
Oh no. Yeah, it's like, and people get super attached to animals. So if you do anything to this Kelpie, people will probably riot.
Yeah, I'll kill off Sean before I kill off Kelpie.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard it here first, people. Sean is dying. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're not going to start rumors. Yeah, that's not what's going on. For
close. We'll get him close.
I posted the link to the the pre-launch page. This will take you right to that, and there's that green button, notify me upon launch. So all you're doing is signing up to be notified when Peter and Amy push the button and the campaign goes live. So we could all follow that. That would be great. Make sure you click that button. And then, of course, when they do go live, I'll make sure I tell everybody on the show when it is live. So,
and me and Amy have both agreed if we hit 100 followers before the launch, we will get the Eye of Balor tattooed on us on a live stream.
What?
Yeah.
Can I host? I'd love to host that.
100%.
We're like, we are here today for the shenanigans.
Yeah. And Amy is, she's agreed to it, but she also, yet again, is like, I can't believe you let me I let you drag me into this sort of stuff.
I feel like you're the one that's always getting her into trouble, not vice versa.
I'm the troublemaker. Amy's more the level head. Like, even in plans for when we're going to do the future issues, just like Sean, I have no filter, and I just start saying things, and Amy has to sometimes say, slow down, just relax.
Yeah.
Because I get too ahead of myself.
You're like the excited one that's like, we're going to do all the things, and Amy's the practical one that's like, we can do them one at a time.
Yeah. Every time we have a call,
I'm getting that.
Yeah, we have a call like once every couple of weeks where we'll talk about the progress of what she's working on and I'm working on. And by the end of the call, I'm talking about Balor issue 52.
She's like, Peter. No.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So issue 52, that was going to be my next question that I asked you is how many. Okay. And again, we talked about trade paperback. So how many issues are you thinking will be in your first trade? And then how many are you thinking are going to be in this series?
The first trade is going to be 5 issues in the first
All
trade.
right.
So that's going to be the first trade. Volume 1 is going to be known as the Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have Volume 2 planned out, which and everyone might get excited for, is the Rogues. So that's where we're going to build up the Rogues gallery of Balor.
Oh, the Rogue, R-O-U-G-E, Rogue,
R-O-U-G-U-E-S.
R-O-G-U-E.
Yeah. So we're going to build the.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to build his Rogues gallery and give him these villains, and we're going to see a lot more mythology come out in Volume 2.
Gotcha. That's cool. Give him some work to do.
Exactly.
And then
my head goes off. I have probably about 10 volumes of the book plan, and I have a spin-off series.
You said 10 volumes?
Oh yeah, I have the spine of up to issue 60 almost of where I want the story to go. And then there's a spin-off, there's a team-up book that I have planned, but Amy's keeping me level-headed and keeping my feet on the ground.
Dang. I thought I was ahead. I'm on like issue 24.
Don't worry, they're not all
like,
fully fledged. Yeah, they're not fully written yet, just the spine.
Peter's like, hold my beer, Laurie. I got 60.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I just get a tad bit of hyperfixation every now and then.
But that's awesome. I mean, that would be so. I cannot wait to hold like a trade paperback in my hand of my own book. I just can't imagine like an omnibus of Balor, like one of those. Look, I had this out for as I glitch out of existence, but like, our favorite Walking Dead book. But like, look at that. That would be awesome in Balor.
Yeah. That's the plan. I mean, as I say, if you shoot for the moon, if you miss, you'll land on the clouds or the stars. So I always mix that one up. But yeah, well, you land on something.
But it's higher than where you started.
Yeah, so just hope it's not my arse I land on, but we move. But I can't wait to hold the trade. I told Amy I wanted to have volume 1 done and get the trade out by the end of next year, to which she told me I need to take a chill pill and let her finish issue 3. Let her finish issue 3 first.
Yeah, I was gonna say get issue 3 done, but I mean, like, you could do. I think you could do that. I think 3 issues in the next year and a half. That's
what I'm thinking.
3 quarters.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, we can get this one. Balor 3, when it's done, will be all the rewards will be sent out by June, July this year. So I said to Amy, if we go straight into issue 4, get that done by Christmas, take Christmas off and get straight into issue 5, get that done by summer, and then from summer to December, we could just have the trade releasing. But again, she told me, slow down, let me finish issue 3 first.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, it all sounds, and I get you, because I do the same thing where I'm like, this is the schedule I want to keep. But then, like, stuff happens. So
exactly. Me and Amy both have young kids, full-time jobs, so stuff happens a lot that changes the time frame. So I always say,
about being an independent is you set your own deadlines.
Yeah.
Right. So there isn't like a Marvel or DC hanging over you like, you got 3 weeks, buddy.
Yeah, it's great with me and Amy both having young kids, the understanding between the two of us. Amy's got on to me many times saying, I'm sorry I'm taking so long. The kids have been sick. I'm like, stop over explaining. I understand completely. Take all the time you need.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get that too. I have my daughters are 6 and 10. So I have to explain it to my friends that don't have kids. They're like, hey, can you do this for me today? I was like, maybe. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, my kids are off school today.
Yeah, that's me. All of mine are 5 and 2. So
so they're little.
Yeah. So they're little, but they're strong, and they want a lot of attention when I'm not in work. And who am I to deny them of that?
Exactly. My kid, I mean, it doesn't change. Well, maybe when they're teenagers and then they don't care. But my kids still, they're like, "Are you done? Because we want to hang out." And I'm like, "You just want to watch TV?" They're like, "Yeah, sit on the couch with us and watch TV." I'm like, "All right."
They just want you to be around.
Get it. Family first. 100%. So yeah, exactly. They just want to be around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. But yes, is there anything else you want to share with us about Balor? What's coming? Are you soaking wet at this point? Like,
I'm under a little bit of a coverage, but I'm getting the odd drips down the back of my neck as I'm talking. So I'm trying to
I saw you
adjust.
do this, like, and I was like, maybe we should wrap up here. Why don't you
I'll-
tell everybody, your socials where we can follow you, anything that's upcoming that you want to share links wise, and then we'll wrap it up so poor Peter can go dry off before he goes back to work.
Yeah, of course. So where you'll find me most active is on Twitter at Balor Comic Book. And then I also have an Instagram that I need to stop neglecting, which is the same at. I have 2 TikTok pages. One that was for the old podcast, but I use that as more of my personal TikTok now. And then I have a Balor Comic TikTok where I've started to do videos on the mythology behind the characters of Balor.
That's cool. But tell everybody your podcast too, so we can.
With that, I'm hoping to get back to that. Actually, we took a hiatus about a year ago and haven't gone back to it yet. Just with
Okay.
so much on the plate. But it was the Superior Comic Show,
Mm-hmm.
which I love doing, but with kids and they were writing comics and work, it was hard to find the time. But I'm hoping to get back to it soon.
Okay. Very cool. All right, everybody. Let's say thank you to Peter. Thank you, Peter. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This was a wonderful chat. I really enjoyed it, and I look so much forward to reading your stuff and learning more about Irish mythology through Sean's eyes. And then everybody make sure that you're following Balor #3 on Kickstarter, so when that launches, we can all go get the coolest stuff on the first day, because that's when that's when all the cool stuff is there.
Oh yeah, right? we have early bird specials ready.
Of course. That's when you're supposed to go. So we'll definitely do that. And then we will catch you all next week. We have more indie creators. There's lots of new NE1 world people, creators, artists, writers, novelists, all of them. And we're going to get them through the show, and we can ask them some questions, and then Laurie can take notes about how to do better at life. And we will catch you
Thank you very much.
Oh,
thank you very much for having me. The weather is raining. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna let him go. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
Hey.